It absolutely is the perfect place to be having these discussions. I think the focus has to be on spiritual development at this moment in human history. And if we get things sorted out inside, there's a very simple expression we use within our own community, and we call it inside out. Makes sense, doesn't it? If inside I'm discontent and unhappy, then what am I going to do with it? It doesn't stay inside, it expresses itself outside in some form or another. But if I can cultivate that innate goodness, then through the cultivation of that, and I believe that this is true of all human souls, each and every human soul has within itself truth, peace, purity, love, and joy. These are the innate qualities of the spirit, and that's true of absolutely each and every one.
I want to express my deep gratitude to the land, to the sacred land, to the Kingdom of Bhutan, and to my new friends from Bhutan. I also want to express my gratitude to my friends from the international community who've come, because everyone has very busy lives, and it's been a long journey, and we've come a long way to experience your sacred land. And I see that your sacred rivers are full of life and energy. They're alive still. Your forests are alive. Your mountains are alive. Your animals are happy and free. Nowhere else have I found that. I've come really with a plea to preserve the sacred land and to prevent the destruction that we have seen all over.
For us who seek the truth and for all living beings, may the winds blow sweetly. May the rivers flow sweetly. May the herbs yield us sweetness. Sweet be the night and the break of day. Sweet be the very dust of the earth. May the heavens pour down sweetness upon us.
Vatu sapa mangalang rakantu sapa devata sapa buddhanu pavena sapa dhammanu pavena sapa sanghanu pavena satha sotingarotu no. May we all receive blessing from the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Thank you.
As the Prime Minister Jimmy Waitunde defined, we have now clearly distinguished, I quote, we have now clearly distinguished the happiness in GNH from the fleeting, pleasurable, feel-good moods so often associated with that term. We know that true abiding happiness cannot exist while others suffer and comes only from serving others, living in harmony with nature, and realizing our innate wisdom and true and brilliant nature of our own minds.
Yes, definitely like our Indochina area, it's like Vietnam, Cambodia, and this area.
Yeah.
Were very rich in history, you know, in past. So we have this wild trees like
Yeah.
the bush,
Look at the amount of strawberries.
We don't need to losing balance. It's okay.
It has to be, how can humans live in harmony with nature?
Nature, exactly.
Not outside nature,
Right.
but in harmony with nature, leaving enough for other species and for human use, doing it in the most delicate way possible.
The way the economic system has developed is a consequence of a wrong understanding of what mankind is, of what our relationship between one another is, what our relationship to nature is, what our relationship to the spiritual dimension is. And when I heard some years ago, about gross national happiness and the efforts that Bhutan was doing to show a new path, a new vision, I felt this was part of the vision that we need, not only for Bhutan, but for the whole of the world, to put the happiness and well-being, not only of human beings, but of all beings and of our planet, in the center of our development and of all our efforts.
We must appeal to the higher consciousness of human beings that leads to peaceful and harmonious societies. We must shun policies and paths that promote violence, discrimination of women, discrimination among ethnic groups, and cruelty in any form. Religions must preach peace, non-violence, and tolerance, and altogether avoid hatred and sense of superiority over others. I believe that these are some vital requirements for promoting cross-national happiness.
Where I live, the land is so wounded and so angry, and the people are so caged and so hurt. Usually when we use the word developed, it refers to countries like mine, and developing, referring to countries like Bhutan. And that implies that your destination is us. You're developing and we're developed. But I look at my country and I see the dead end that we've reached in the misery, the unhappiness. And I think, I don't want this for a beautiful place like Bhutan. You're already closer to permaculture. You're already living in a worldview that understands the interconnectedness of all beings, the non-separation, that understands that what you do to any being, any river, any mountain, any species, you're doing to yourself.
And the original word, development, comes from biology. Self-organized, self-evolution from within. So the development is a process where a seed becomes a tree. An embryo becomes a human being. A society evolves according to its culture, guided by its values. That is development. But when economics took the term development, it meant the opposite. That which is imposed from outside, with totally false measures. Now, I dedicated myself to agriculture as a way of living my spiritual life. Because for me, the seed is sacred, and the soil is sacred, and the water is sacred, and food is sacred. It's anna.
that truth and harmony are tied together. And
Harmony is truth and
so
truth.
the
Yes,
whole
exactly.
statement is that truth alone triumphs, not disharmony.
Imbalance will dissolve.
Imbalance, that's the point about imbalance. It's imbalanced.
Yeah.
You know, if I put this cup on the edge out here,
Yes.
it has to fall.
It has to fall.
You know?
Yeah.
सुख छ यसैमा शान्ति छ मुक्ति मोक्ष निर्वाण धर्म न हिन्दू बौद्ध हो सिख इस्लाम न जैन धर्म चित्त को शुद्धता धर्म शांति सुख चैन.
Truth is that which is true in itself, not dependent on anything else. It lives by itself, it fulfills itself, not dependent on anything else, not bound to anything else. Truth is that which is innately permanent. And if it is innate, if it is permanent, it is self-fulfilling, it is also the underlying unity that upholds everything.
Camus says, the saints of our time are those who refuse to be either its executioners or its victims. We have to consciously recast our own personal morality. We have to avoid the sin of warm and fuzzy, false piety. If out of your piety comes nothing that changes the world, don't waste your time. Templeton says, if we had been holier people, we would have been angrier people more often.
کم در عجبم که من توام یا تو